So here we are. That's right. Here at Opal Marina, we're looking at a fog-covered, iced-over river. That's right. The Rock River is covered in ice and covered in fog. And this kind of reminds us here that Christ is the light of the world. And he's not only the light of the world, but also he's the light in the way. Without him, people, they stumble in the world and stumble and fall. And I'll tell you what, there was one time I was driving along on the roadway, and there was a real foggy day at night. I think it was foggy at night, and I almost drove off the road onto a boat launch, because the road, it basically turned into a boat launch all of a sudden, and I didn't realize it. I thought the road was just continuing on, and when I saw that it was a boat launch, I hit the brakes real fast, and that prevented me from launching my vehicle right straight into the river there. It was in an area that I was unfamiliar with. I was driving along to see Christmas lights at nighttime. That's what was going on. Sort of a foggy night. And, if you don't know any better, you could be walking along here. See the ground here? You could be walking along here. And if this is night, you could walk right across what you might not know is the river. And and it could be covered in ice like this, and on a foggy night, and you might not realize that you're walking on the river, when really, you think that you're just walking on a patch of ice. But in fact, you could be walking directly on the river. And if the ice is thin, then you could be basically falling through. And just to illustrate here, walking along, and let's just pretend this is nighttime. I'm walking along here, and if I don't know the river's here, I could be just, minding my own business, maybe talking with a friend. If they don't know the river's here, and if there's, sure, it looks kind of weird here, and there's some gravel, and all of a sudden we're on ice, and can't really tell that it's iced over, from where I'm standing. I mean, you can tell there's ice here, but this looks like a giant, just a giant, sort of like a big, long place, as it were, to walk, and it's not. I can see a crack just from me standing. I weigh close to 400 pounds, and this is above freezing. I can see a crack that extends out across the river just from me standing on the point where I'm standing at. See my foot? There's some bird dung, and you can see just from me standing where I stood, there's a crack that emerged on the river all the way across the river. So, just imagine we're at nighttime, and I stand on there, and I don't see, the crack. I'm just talking to a friend or something, and the crack starts forming, and before too long, I could be falling into the river. The ice basically collapses and go right in, and makes it for a real dangerous situation. And then, especially if the ice basically, covers me, after I, start walking across. Now, because of these kind of things, we have to be careful, when we walk in the world, that, we don't stumble and fall, that, we have our bearings, as it were, that we walk by the light of Christ. And so that's why it's important not to live in such a way as to shut God out, but instead to have God as part of your life, to have the Lord as part of your life. Because if you don't, then, like I say, it's easy to think that you're on solid ground when you're not. And I feel really tempted to walk across the river here. I really do, but I know, just from looking at the cracks here, I don't think that crack was here when I first started. So, I mean, it's dangerous.